So, Hollywood Rock is all the way back. The Rock is not just back. Hollywood Rock, the bad guy, the heel Rock, is back in the WWE. And I gotta say, it's pretty surreal to watch. We're recording this on Saturday. Welcome to the Danny Picard Show. I have a lot to say about The Rock's return. And I actually have a video that I'm going to show you today that explains exactly what they're doing with this Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes storyline. They explained it on the Pat McAfee Show back in September. I'm going to play that video for you. But before we do any of this, if you're watching right now on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You will really help us out in the future for some things that we have coming down the pipe. So please hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on. But we are here to kind of follow up on our last podcast, which was mostly wrestling because we went in on the Vince McMahon stuff and the Vince McMahon lawsuit. And it hasn't really been the top story in the WWE because of everything with The Rock returning, and now The Rock's a bad guy again. And you have him stealing Cody Rhodes' WrestleMania spotlight. And now they did swerve us back to Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. And that's what I thought they were going to do anyways, based on what we talked about in the last show. But I did feel the need to come in here a couple weeks later after the last show and record again, because that was one of our more popular shows, the Vince McMahon Reaction Podcast.
Yeah, I think people liked our more moderate take of Vince McMahon, the only one out there.
Well, I think we were willing to let the truth be told,
or at least,
if you will.
Yeah, at least let's look at it 2 weeks from now when more stuff comes out.
Yeah, I don't know what else is going to come out. I'm assuming some things will come out, but who knows? Anyways, whatever they're doing with The Rock, TKO, WWE, it's working because nobody is talking about Vince McMahon anymore. They're talking about The Rock, and that's what we're going to do right now. Did you watch Smackdown?
I did.
On Friday night, last night. We're recording this on Saturday, a day afterwards. What did you think about The Rock getting in the ring with the Bloodline? He's part of the Bloodline with Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman. Is it Jimmy Uso? Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. And at the end, they're both given the, acknowledge me points. Though The Rock was doing this. I don't know what that means.
He was trying, though.
He didn't do the finger. He did the gun. Was that on purpose?
Was it like crossing your fingers because you don't really mean it? Was it that type of thing?
I don't know. Well, there's one point of The Rock promo on SmackDown. And by the way, he was great. He was going in on the fans. So what did he looked at the guy in the front row. He said, "Shut up, fatty, before I come out there and smack the herpes off your lips." Like, that's old school Rock. That's like Attitude Era Hollywood Rock. Like, this is...
He didn't allow them to chant with him. It was just perfect.
It's surreal to watch, but then there's also all of this stuff where it really doesn't make sense. Like, the storyline just doesn't make sense unless, and we'll get to this video in a minute from the Pat McAfee Show back in September. But I interrupted you. What did you think of The Rock getting in the ring on SmackDown?
First of all, thank God it's Hollywood Rock. I don't like babyface Rock. I only like the bad guy. There's nobody better than him. The way he works the crowd and goads them into things, it's just, there's literally nobody better at what he does. But more than that, there's more going on. Like they're setting up a bigger storyline, either this WrestleMania or even next WrestleMania.
What do you think is happening? Because everybody has different theories right now. We've had theories. We said on the last show that it didn't make any sense for The Rock to steal Cody's spotlight. They had the press conference in Las Vegas, and Cody came in, interrupted, and they kind of re-announced, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. They did swerve us. They're going to go back to that. But The Rock is still in the mix. Like, what do you think is going to happen?
Okay, one scenario it could easily be is The Rock's on... He doesn't. It's just the straight Cody versus Reigns match. Rock's there. Rock somehow screws Reigns out of his title, ends his title streak, sets up a match for them next year, lets Cody get his moment. That's like maybe the nicest. All right,
but you think
scenario.
Cody is gonna finish the story and win the WWE Championship
if the bigger
WrestleMania?
If the bigger story is Rock versus Reigns for the head of the Bloodline.
I'm asking you to make that prediction. Do you
Yeah.
think it is?
Yeah. But I don't know if The Rock wants... I think, like, since The Rock's in for... Like, he's in business with them now. He has The Rock name back. They grease the wheels, everything. I could see him making this a 2-year WrestleMania story for him, from The Rock's perspective.
So here's what I think. I wanted to get your take because I enjoy listening to everybody's perspective and you know, the fantasy booking of this, if you will. I'm actually fascinated. Like, people text me what they think about it, and I'm enjoying all the ideas that are flowing, and I'm enjoying giving them right back. I told you last week that I think they're going to swerve us back to Cody Roman at Mania, which they did, only because The Rock stealing that from Cody, the way they did it didn't make sense. Cody wins the Royal Rumble, so by default, he gets to pick what champion he wants to face at WrestleMania. He gets in the ring a couple weeks ago, looks at Roman and says, I'm going to take that from you, but not at WrestleMania. Instead, I'm going to bring out The Rock and have him face you.
Yeah, that part never made sense.
And so it didn't make sense, but then I started thinking, that doesn't have to make sense. That part of it does not have to make sense if they're going back to Cody Roman. It doesn't have to make sense. They just have to get there, right? Because once they get there, then they're going to...
All the middle parts don't matter.
You won't even remember that.
I also thought that was something to do with Rollins being hurt at that point.
So injuries are at play. I think the CM Punk injury is also something that is a big deal. But that's another thing that people are talking about right now with their fantasy booking. They're saying that, because when The Rock stole, and I'm putting my finger quotations up, when he stole the WrestleMania moment from Cody initially, a lot of people were just like bitching and moaning, and The Rock called them the Cody crybabies, and
great.
And I guess I was a Cody crybaby in a way, because I was like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I want to see, at this point, I'm ready for it. Let Cody finish the story. I guess I'm a Cody crybaby, according to The Rock. But a lot of people think that the outrage forced the WWE to swerve, and that the fans forced them to change the WrestleMania plans back to Cody Roman. And I think that is so ridiculously stupid. There's no way that they reacted to the fans like that in that short period of time with someone like The Rock. There's just no way. I think there is a storyline at play here. And that's why that Cody Rock moment, I told you, doesn't have to make sense. But they did leave that camera shot in there with Cody pissed at The Rock. Like, there's a reason why they left that camera shot in. Because you knew they were going to come back. I knew they were going to come back to this. I knew they had to. They had to swerve. Everything else didn't make sense. But I also saw this clip from The Rock on the Pat McAfee Show in September. And we're going to play this for you right now. And Pat, I don't know if you're going to allow me to play this, if you're going to like hit me with a copyright strike. But I hope you don't. Because you were once in the shoes of someone like me. And in fact, I'm the one that, carved the path for you because I invented podcasting. All right? So let us please play this clip. Don't hit us with the YouTube strike. But this is on ESPN on the set of College Game Day, but it is the Pat McAfee Show in September. In September. So what, 5 months ago? The Rock was on there, and Pat McAfee asked him about last year's WrestleMania in LA, and that WrestleMania main event was Cody versus Roman. Roman beat Cody, and everybody was shocked by that. We were shocked by that. But Pat McAfee asked The Rock if he was supposed to be facing Roman, because leading into last year's WrestleMania in LA, there were a lot of rumors that The Rock could face Roman in that Mania, and it never happened. And Pat McAfee basically asked him what happened with that moment. Here's the clip from the Pat McAfee Show with The Rock.
So that story was a big one. The Rock and Roman, SoFi, LA. How close? Did that ever, and was that close?
All right. So the Rock headlining WrestleMania with Roman Reigns, SoFi Stadium, that was locked.
What?
We were...
No way.
We were doing it.
They were doing it. Pause it right there. So he said, The Rock just says, last year in LA, SoFi Stadium, it was going to be The Rock versus Roman Reigns. They were doing it. All right? They were doing it. So what happened? Why didn't The Rock fight Roman Reigns last year in LA? Well, he goes on to explain, and it does connect to everything that's going on right now, and I'll let you know how. But here's The Rock explaining it.
We were doing it. But let me just tell you. about in the beginning of 2022, Nick Khan, who we know,
Friend of ours,
Nick,
shout out
very
Nicky.
good friend, long time for years.
Dog.
He's the man. He was very instrumental in bringing Vince and I together. We all flew to LA. We met. We sat. This is the beginning in 2022.
Pause it. Beginning of 2022. The Rock, Nick Khan, Vince McMahon, they were all meeting. So beginning of 2022. That is before the WrestleMania. That was Cody Rhodes' return to the WWE, where he fought Seth Rollins, right?
Yep.
And I don't know if this meeting happened before that WrestleMania, around the time of that WrestleMania, right after that WrestleMania. Either way, Vince McMahon and Cody Rhodes, like that agreement was already
some
there.
agreement.
So
yeah.
so already there, Vince, when he has this meeting with The Rock, already Cody is in some type of mix in the main event scene, because there's no way that Cody goes back to WWE
without
some type of assurance that he's going to be involved in the main. And there's no way that Vince McMahon is bringing him back and letting him keep his logos and keep his music. They had big plans for Cody. So that was all in the mix with this meeting. Vince, Nick Khan, The Rock, beginning of 2022, they meet, and here's what they talk about.
Broke out Terramana. We toasted life, toasted the business we love. And about an hour later, we started talking about the potential of what this match could be between myself and Roman Reigns headlining WrestleMania at SoFi. And we shook hands and we hugged right there, all three of us at the table, and said, let's do this. And so the North Star, though.
Here we go. Pause it right there. So they agreed to it. They had this meeting at the beginning of 2022, Nick Khan, The Rock, and Vince McMahon, and they agreed that it was going to be in LA, WrestleMania 39, The Rock versus Roman Reigns. But The Rock is about to tell you why it ended up not happening.
Think about this. Yeah. So the North Star thought was, okay, let's not do something good, let's not do something great, let's do something unprecedented. And it was in what can we create for the fans that has never been done before. A match, great. Roman, incredible athlete. He's going to be on Mount Rushmore.
Super handsome.
Right? Super handsome, good dude. My cousin, family, amazing. We can have the match, but the bigger thought was, what can we do for the fans in this business that we love that will, where WrestleMania isn't the end of something, it's actually the beginning of something.
Pause. Think about what he just said right there. He said we were thinking about how can we do this match where it's not the end of something, but it's the beginning of something bigger. Now, what do you think of when he says that?
It feels like he's telling us every bit of their plan. It feels like
that's exactly what he's doing.
It's almost spoiler alert level.
Spoiler alert. He wasn't doing last year's Mania because
they didn't really. It did not come together.
All right,
really,
I have to backtrack just for a second, real quick. What happened at last year's Mania that I told you why Cody Rhodes did not win that championship?
I don't remember.
The Endeavor sale.
Oh, yeah,
which created TKO, which is who now The Rock is on the board of.
Which makes perfect sense at the time, because you're like, why not just lead with stars? Why are we doing this to board members?
But Endeavor, they bought the WWE.
Right then. Yeah.
And around right at the beginning of WrestleMania, they didn't want to, as The Rock says,
shake the boat,
have a new beginning inside the WWE. When you buy that company, no, you want the guy who you know it's working with in Roman Reigns, your superstar of superstars. You want him to remain the champ at the beginning of the sale, of course. So you don't want to do something new and different and have that new beginning. And so The Rock is explaining all of that stuff was going on. That's why he didn't do this match. But let him explain even further.
So what happened?
Great question, too. So what happened?
We got really, really close, but we couldn't actually nail what that thing was. So we decided to put our pencils down, and then we agreed, hey, listen, there is a merger coming up. Eventually that will happen. There's WrestleMania in Philadelphia.
Whoa.
Lift the eyebrow.
Whoa.
All right, pause it. So he mentions the Endeavor sale, which basically he's telling you without telling you that's why it didn't happen, because The Rock was only going to get involved if they were going to do something different, something new. He's basically telling you he's not going to come back and do this with Roman Reigns if it's just The Rock comes back, it's an obvious loss because he's not winning the title.
Yeah.
There's got to be a different
There'll
element
be a real
to this whole
point
thing.
for him to come back.
And so what's that different element? Cody Rhodes, right? But they couldn't do it last year with Cody and do the title switch because of what he just said, the Endeavor sale.
Yeah.
So they were going to do it, and Pat McAfee's like, what happened? And The Rock's like, well, we had the Endeavor sale, and it confirms my theory of why Cody lost last year.
Yeah.
It confirms my theory as to why The Rock is going to be involved in the main event of this year's WrestleMania, but it's also going to include Cody Rhodes. Like, he's telling you that.
It always has,
He's telling you that. He was only going to come back and do this match if it included something different, something special, not the end to something, but a new beginning. What's that new beginning? A Cody Rhodes title reign.
Yeah. And that's how they sold it to Cody last year. Do you remember we said that last year? How the hell did they end up selling this to Cody where he has to lose again? This is how they sold it to him.
And Cody's like, I like that idea.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
That's real legacy
Cody,
shit,
we
too.
can't do it now because the Endeavor sale and they want to keep Roman as the champion right now. That's just business.
And then you say, but here's what we want to give you.
But we're going to do this thing with The Rock next year, and we're going to lead up to it. And here's Rock in September, 5 months ago, explaining it. Let him keep going.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that that's a potential too. So I'm open. But again, let's figure out what that is because the fans deserve something just incredible and unprecedented. And not only that, but also want to deliver to the locker room and the boys and the girls back there who are working their asses off. What can we do to put them in a position where they're part of something that is a new change, an era?
A new change and a new era in this world of pro wrestling. He is telling you he's not coming back to face Roman Reigns and lose in the main event, which would be the most obvious result of that potential match, which is why I told you it doesn't make sense that they're going to do that for a title. And so they're not going to do it for a title. And The Rock is telling you he was only going to come back if there could be something different, something special, the beginning of something, the beginning of a new era, not just for the fans, but the people in the room. What's he telling you? He's telling you he's only going to come back if he's involved in Roman Reigns losing the championship. The Rock isn't winning the championship. The Rock is now involved in a situation where Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40 is going to lose the championship to a new era in Cody Rhodes, and then what's going to happen? Then you get The Rock versus Roman Reigns either in Saudi Arabia later this year for that Saudi money, or WrestleMania 41 next year, which they're now saying could be in Vegas.
Oh, so
it was supposed to be in Minnesota, but they had this press conference in Vegas, and I'm telling you right now, with the UFC and TKO,
it's a whole new world.
If it's in Vegas next year, the main event is going to be Roman Reigns versus The Rock. No championships, but for the head of the table. Who is the head of the table? Who's the leader of the Bloodline? And that's a match they could have The Rock win.
Yeah.
Or maybe, that's the thing. I don't even know who would win that match if there's no title. And that's what they want to get to. But The Rock told you in September on ESPN, looking at Pat McAfee, he told you. I mean, I almost want to play this again, but I don't want to put everybody through that audio. But I've watched this multiple times, and what he is doing back in September is telling you why he didn't do the match last year against Roman Reigns, and by default telling you why he is doing it this year. And so when people say, oh, the fans were so outraged, they made the WWE change plans and put Cody back in the main event. No. Watch The Rock and Pat McAfee, and you will... It comes out of The Rock's mouth. We just watched it. He explains and breaks down exactly what's going to happen. Spoiler alert, he just basically tells you that Cody Rhodes is going to win the championship, and that's the only reason. Now
he might have just told you the whole next year.
Right? I think he spilled the beans. Yeah. Now, there are some... We don't know how this is going to happen. I mean, you gave one...
Yeah, just a guess. A very vague
You said
guess,
The Rock is maybe, like,
he's
outside the ring.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be... So here's the thing. Now they have Seth Rollins in the mix, and I think the Seth Rollins in this mix right now is a product of the injury to CM Punk.
Okay, yeah.
I don't even think they would be having Seth Rollins.
That makes perfect sense.
If Punk...
To go all the way back to Punk's debut when Seth Rollins was giving him the finger. And
yeah. Now, I still think it's a shame that we're probably not going to see Punk versus Roman Reigns for the title, like, while Roman Reigns has it. I think that's a shame. I think that's a huge loss.
It almost feels like that's almost not possible now.
No, it's definitely not. But because of Punk's injury and he's out of WrestleMania, if he was healthy, I'm saying if Punk was healthy, they wouldn't even be getting Rollins in this mix with this storyline.
Yeah, exactly.
But now that he is, like he was at the press conference, and oh man, I have to mention this one thing. I saw some loser on Twitter, on X, show the fans chanting Cody, Cody. When The Rock got on stage, some loser on Twitter goes, "Oh, listen to them! They're chanting Maui, Maui about the fires in Hawaii."
I saw that too. And then he pretended that The Rock didn't give money, and The Rock already did.
And it's like, dude, how big of a fucking loser do you have to be?
That's the type of person. They're just looking for some kind of
to hear. Like, he wanted to hear Maui, that guy.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, Maui, Oprah, like, and he just starts like, how big of a fucking loser do you have to be? And then take that crazy thought and send it out to the world. Anyways, can you let us enjoy something?
No.
I just want to enjoy wrestling.
No, you can't do that.
Maui?
Yeah.
Oh, man. And that isn't a that's me being non-political. I don't care what side you're on with that.
Yeah.
Just shut the fuck up.
When wrestling's on, wrestling's on.
Anyways, they did that press conference in Vegas, which was great. But they got Rollins involved, and they're only getting him involved now because Punk's injured. Now,
yeah. Is he fighting someone like some winner of the Elimination Chamber or something?
he is. And I think it's probably going to be Drew McIntyre, because Drew McIntyre has been unbelievable lately with his gimmick and everything that he's doing. And I know he's knocking CM Punk, all this, but like that's not him going into business for himself. Like they agreed to this stuff. And I bet you CM Punk is like extremely proud of the job he's doing by trashing Punk the way he has been. And it's phenomenal. And I think you need to see Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the title. And I think you need to have Drew McIntyre win it. You know why? Because Drew McIntyre should be rewarded for being the champ during COVID. He won the belt in an empty arena. In an empty gym in WrestleMania 36? Yeah. You ever watch highlights of that WrestleMania? Yeah. That I watched some recently. It's like the most pathetic, sad, depressing thing I've ever seen in my life.
And for whatever reason, Seth Rollins hasn't been able to do anything with that title. For whatever reason.
Well, I've told you, I think he needs to lose it, then win it back.
Yeah.
Because the way he won it, it felt like they already knew he was going to win it.
You get one, too.
Yeah. We knew he was going to win it.
Yeah.
He's still a world champ in my eyes, so I think he needs to lose it and then get it back, and you'll see some great things out of Seth Rollins. But he should lose it to Drew McIntyre. But, however, they're now teasing this sort of tag match.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's a 2-night WrestleMania.
Which I still don't like. I still don't.
I hate it. Oh, I hate it.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate it. Because I've said this many times.
Because if you edit the 2 nights into 1 night, it's a great WrestleMania every year. But they just water it down. It always feels watered down.
Man, you know, I say this every time we talk about this, but for those who need to hear it, the last match on night 1 of WrestleMania is not the WrestleMania main event.
No, it's not.
It's not. There's only one WrestleMania main event, and it's the absolute last match of WrestleMania, which is on Sunday night. Don't give me the last match on Saturday night as the main event. Like, if you really want to talk yourself into that, like, go ahead. But we all know it's not.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's my beef. That's why I don't like the 2-night WrestleMania. But I think what they're kind of teasing is perhaps we're gonna get this like comic book universe collision on night 1 of a tag team match with Cody and Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns and The Rock. And then night 2, you'll get Cody, Roman Reigns. And perhaps we even night 1 see that potential split between The Rock and Roman Reigns. And it ends up leading to night 2, which then ends up in a conflict and ends up Roman losing the title, The Rock versus Roman.
I like that.
Either in Saudi later this year or at WrestleMania next year.
I like that. Because it also puts like a glue of the 2 nights together. I actually don't hate the 2 nights if they do it that way.
Okay, so I said that, though. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is there's going to be... We have what? 2 months? Little less than 2 months? That's a lot of time.
Yeah, month and a half, yeah.
That's a lot of time. And they can go so many different ways with this, and you know they already have it planned out. I mean, you know they do. Whatever The Rock, put it this way, The Rock isn't coming back to just be on the sideline in the main event of WrestleMania.
Which is obvious, but he also has said it with his own words, too. So.
Here's what I think is going to happen. And here's where I gave you that other option. That's what people have been telling me. It's logical. The tag team match and then the main event.
I would like that. I haven't seen how that's getting set up yet.
Here's what I think is going to happen. Seth Rollins was in the ring on Monday night with Cody, and Seth tells him, Cody, that's great. You should go for that WWE Championship, the title your dad never won. Finish your story. That's great. But what's your plan, Cody? What's your plan? The Bloodline. Solo Sikoa came in, and he cost you the championship. The Bloodline, they continue to interfere. They're going to continue to cost you. Like, what's your plan? You need to have a plan. You can't beat them on your own. Nobody can beat them. Nobody can beat Roman on their own. There's too many of them in the Bloodline. They play dirty. They don't play fair. What is your plan? How are you going to beat them? And that's where I get back to Cody and The Rock. It didn't make any sense, did it?
No, it really
didn't make any sense, did it?
Unless it does.
Unless Cody's got a plan.
Yeah.
And unless The Rock is part of that plan. The Rock absolutely hates what Roman Reigns has been doing so much that he coordinated with Cody Rhodes behind the scenes. And they're building this up that The Rock is with Roman Reigns, where the whole time he's just infiltrating the Bloodline because Cody asked him to team up and help him out because he needed a plan. What we're seeing right now play out is Cody's plan, where The Rock infiltrates the Bloodline and then ends up turning on Roman.
I love that.
And it's Cody's plan. Now, the slap at the press conference doesn't help my storyline, but
it still could, though.
There's a couple, you could I had to take one for the team to really sell
it. It's like the undercover cop thing.
Yeah, to go undercover. You know, The Rock right now is a bad guy. He's a heel. It's a little surreal to see because you didn't expect it to ever happen.
You know what it makes me think of, too, during that Vegas press conference when they, on the Titantron or whatever they call it now, and they showed the whole family tree.
Yeah.
And he made a point to show that their two grandfathers, like, they are the ones at the top, and they had, like, some kind of an agreement to come together. But now The Rock could just be like, but the real head is my grandfather. The real head is me. The real head is... It's just the way it just, like, looked. Yeah. That thing was so impressive, too. People should really go back and look at that press conference.
Look at the family tree.
Yeah.
I didn't look at the family tree. Yeah. I mean, I saw it from afar. Yeah. But that's a good point. I just think...
And just The Rock's ego, Hollywood Rock, the bad Rock. How can he ever even sit equal with Reigns? How can The Rock even ever sit equal with him? The Rock always has to be number one.
But so...
He has to be the head of the family.
He does have to. He's going to be in a match. The Rock is going to have two matches here. He's going to have a match at this WrestleMania, you got to think, and then he's going to have a match either
Saudi Arabia
or at next year's WrestleMania if it's in Vegas. If it's in Minnesota, like they were saying, I'm not sure. I think if they sell him on Vegas, I think that's the big ticket for him. Yeah. But I do think that we are going to see some type of triple threat with Cody, The Rock, and Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania. And I think if they do that, it will... I don't know what's going to happen in that match, but I can almost guarantee you that Roman doesn't win, one, because of what The Rock was saying with Pat McAfee, and two,
The Rock's not doing a full year schedule.
The Rock is either somehow going to screw Roman Reigns, either on purpose or by default where Cody pins The Rock. And therefore, you're leaving the door open for Roman Reigns to eventually come back to Cody in a year and a half or 2 years.
Yeah.
And then they can have that feud again. Where it's just them two and there's nobody else, and it's the trilogy. Right?
Yeah. And if you do Saudi Arabia and do that at the next WrestleMania, that fits nice too.
That would, whatever it comes out to, whether it's my theory that this, like, Cody and The Rock may be working behind the scenes, and maybe there ends up being a triple threat, and The Rock somehow screws Roman out of the title. Either way, whatever happens, The Rock basically said the only reason he's coming back to do this is to do something different and special. And so Cody being back in the main event is not because of the Cody crybabies. Okay? We don't get to take that W because I think the WWE had this in their plans the whole time, because The Rock told you on the McAfee Show he wasn't going to do this unless something like that was in the plans the whole time. More people need to watch that.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen. But that's a big time spoiler, because I think he basically told that Cody Rhodes is winning the title at WrestleMania. But we would like to see that, right?
Oh, yeah, you have to see it. You have to want to see it.
But they're leaving us with still, even though we say we know, there's some questions, and I'm sure they're going to do something, because The Rock...
There's a long time still, yeah.
The Rock in the ring on Friday Night SmackDown, there's a clip on the internet where he says there's no way, like, Cody is a loser. He's going to leave WrestleMania a loser. But he doesn't use Cody. He says, you're going to leave WrestleMania a loser. And he points. And and the camera cuts back, and he's pointing at Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns is looking away. It just does seem weird to me right now that...
That's going to be great in the promo, that shot.
It just seems weird to me right now that they are now portraying Roman Reigns as like this secondary, like he's almost handing The Rock the microphone.
Yeah.
And he's looking like the little brother right now, but they're doing that on purpose. Because at some point, whether it's a month from now, whether it's night 1 of WrestleMania, whether it's night 2 of WrestleMania, whenever that may be, they're going to have that moment where The Rock is going to be acting like he did in the ring, like the leader of the Bloodline, and Roman's going to go, hold on, big dog. I'm the leader of the Bloodline. What are you doing? You're overstepping your boundaries. And that's when they're going to clash.
Yeah.
And we're going to learn a lot more about this storyline when that... I mean, it's inevitable that that's going to happen, right? Like, do people really think that The Rock and Roman Reigns are going to walk out of WrestleMania like arm in arm, like raising his hand? There's no way. There's no way. I don't see it happening. I mean, do you? Is that...
No.
Like, with The Rock... Like,
well, why would you even want that? You know what I mean? Why would you even want that? You want them just to be buddies forever?
He's talking about a new era.
Yeah.
On this clip. Like, he gave it away.
Yeah. What a dummy, though.
He gave it away.
He's done something else stupid recently. He, like, kind of broke on Twitter. Someone was complaining. I think it was about the Maui fires, but he kind of broke character and said,
yeah, but you know what?
Yeah.
It's because he had to, because that was so stupid. They weren't chanting Maui. They were chanting Cody. Like, what a dumb tweet that guy made about, not The Rock.
No, I know.
The Rock's tweet was good. Back at him.
He shouldn't even have to do it, though. People are nuts. People are nuts these days. They really are. The things people care about.
Well, I mean...
Go take a walk around the block, buddy.
We live in such... we've done all the... We've done the conspiracy theories. We've knocked the hardcore left for being just like absolutely ridiculous human beings at this point with some of the shit that they...
Well, it's all like a purity test at this point. They just force you to...
What the fuck? Like, but then you get the extreme right too, which we knock. We knock the extreme on both sides. Like, we're in the middle.
Well, they've become the same thing.
It's like, so the extreme right is thinking that clip is saying Maui. And then the extreme left is... You know, we don't need to get into that. We don't need to get into that. We've already covered that one. But anyways, you know, how are we looking? Everything looking good?
We're good.
Yeah, look, this is the one thing that is taking me away from reality is all this drama in professional wrestling. And so can you let us just have this? Let me have this.
Doesn't it also feel like we're moving into like another golden age of wrestling?
Oh, yeah.
It really feels like it. Like everything's...
Oh, yeah.
Almost everything's hitting on all cylinders.
Well, I do think that AEW...
Forced it, yeah. Competition
deserves credit for that.
Yeah. As goofy as they can be sometimes.
We knock AEW. Yeah. I knock AEW. But I've always given them the respect and the credit of being a game changer. They changed the game.
Yeah.
You know, they help wrestlers make more money. And when there's competition, WWE had to go, all right, we can't just, you know, sit on our ass and just throw guys out and have half-ass storylines. We actually need to, like, get back in the office and write some scripts and fucking get back to work. Like, we got a real competitor on our hands that's on TNT and TBS, and they're stealing some of our talent. Like, we got to step our game up. And so AEW absolutely deserves credit. And before I forget, I mentioned AEW. Standing ovation for Matt Taven. He headlined AEW Dynamite on Wednesday night on, was it TBS, on TNT? What channel is it on now? I think it's on TBS now. He was in the main event against Orange Cassidy. And Taven, I mean, I think he basically proved his worth. I think he needed to be placed in that main event. He's placed in the top group, Undisputed Kingdom right now with Adam Cole and Roddy Strong and Mike Bennett and Wardlow, and they're a force. Matt Taven, to me,
it's been great for a while.
And he's gonna hate that I'm saying this, and this is just my opinion because I did a podcast with him for a little bit, and because I was a fan of his.
Yeah.
But I was a fan of his because when I saw his work at Ring of Honor, I go, this is a WWE guy. Like, he's a WWE guy. Because he's not just a guy that's out there strictly doing, like, you know, the crazy flips off the turnbuckle. He's not going through tables every single match, though. He did have a big table bump on Wednesday night in the main event, which was great, by the way. But, you know, he's got everything. He's got the mic work down, and he showed you that after that match with a promo that you can get on the AEW social media. He's got the look. He's got the in-ring ability. He's got the mic work down. He's just the full package. He's WWE. And I've always thought this, and I've even said this to him, like, man, I hope you go to WWE. Because I think someone like that, if they end up showing up in NXT, here's the problem with the AEW audience, like the people that go to AEW events, they're just so set in their ways. Like, they have their guys.
Yeah.
And if they don't get their guys, then they're just going to, like, you know, cross their arms and turn their back to the show. Whereas the people that go to a WWE show, you're going for the Broadway show, for the entire show. You're going to be entertained no matter what is out there. Like, because that, you know what you're getting into. You're going into a show full of entertainment, not just a pro wrestling show. And not to say that Taven isn't a pro wrestler. He is. He's one of the best. But he's got everything else that checks off all the boxes that, to me, makes him more of a WWE guy than a lot of the guys in AEW right now. And I don't think that's a knock on anyone in AEW. I think that's just more praise for him. But I've always seen him. I go, and I said it to him, like, I hope you go to WWE one day. I think if someone like that showed up in NXT, right, I think that would be a game changer, and I think the fans would love it. And then I think that's when you make the leap. That's when he makes the leap. I mean, he belongs in WWE, in my opinion. And I think Wednesday night on Dynamite against Orange Cassidy proved it, and I hope that he gets his run now, whatever that entails in AEW. I mean, I don't agree with the way that they do storylines or handle a lot of things there, because it's just seems to be all over the place. And this is just from the outside looking in, and my own personal opinion on what I see and what I watch. I love what the Young Bucks are doing right now, like playing the role of like the EVPs, like they're leaning into that real life shit. I love that. But I always say this: I wish they were in WWE too.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish Kenny Omega was in WWE. Yeah. I think Taven's in that group. But I think he opened some eyes in that main event on Wednesday night. So standing all for Matt Taven. Nice job. I just wanted to mention that while we mention AEW before I forget. But AEW created this competition, which has created, like you said, maybe this new golden era of wrestling. AEW deserves just as much credit, I think. Tony Khan.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
All those Cody Rhodes
and Triple H
started that.
Honestly, like, Cody Rhodes might deserve almost the most credit in a weird way, because he started all of this.
He left WWE. He bet on himself. and he knew what he was going to do. He knew he was jumping, and he jumped into that. He got in a Bullet Club. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He knew what he was fucking doing.
That's who we should really be thanking. That's the real catalyst.
Yeah, because when he was doing that, New Japan Pro started to have shows in the U.S., and they were going, which were on like Access TV.
Yeah.
AXS television or whatever that station is. And I would watch it. And I started to pay a little more attention to those guys. And you're right. He does deserve that credit. But I mean, the era of wrestling right now, it's great. It's like the one thing that I have that I can, escape, use as an escape.
I know. And that's what it should be, purely. That's what all these things should be. They let extra stuff into all sports, and it's not the way it should go. Not everything has to be everything. It can just be wrestling. That's fine.
So that, I guess, leads us back to the Super Bowl and my thoughts on that. I mean, they showed Taylor Swift 120 times. And you got the Taylor Swift album over my shoulder, which I am not happy about, by the way.
Midnight.
I am not happy about that. I did not put that there. This is Paul Price's studio. This is not my studio.
And I put in
not my album.
I've been putting subliminal messages into all these videos.
You might have, but I just want to get one thing out of the way. This is not my album over my shoulder. I want no part of that. In fact, I think we might have to edit that out.
Just blur it.
I think we should blur it. If there's a blur over my shoulder, just know that I ended up being not that happy about Taylor Swift album right over my shoulder, as I'm especially about to knock her and Travis Kelce, because I mean, the guy's just insufferable.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I think he's more unlikable than her. I think I've never disliked a football player like this.
Wait, you think he's more?
I think he's more dislikable than she is. He's worse than she is. She is what she is. She's the biggest star on the planet. But
why would you put that album up there
for this exact moment?
And look, Taylor Swift. I don't not like Taylor Swift. I just don't get it.
Yeah, why?
Like, I don't get it.
But you get why the NFL is focused on her so much.
She's going to be doing the halftime show next year.
Yeah.
Her and Goodell were negotiating next year's halftime show in the suite during the Super Bowl.
Next commissioner.
I mean, it's a great business plan for her. It's a great business plan for the NFL.
She got to the Super Bowl her first year in the league.
I am shocked that they didn't have the proposal on the field, like I told you, like, we're going to Disney World. We're getting engaged. We're going to Disney World where dreams come true, the Super Bowl. And the fact that they didn't do it leads me to believe that maybe it is a fake-ass relationship.
Yeah, more than now, I believe it's completely put together for publicity. I know they do that anyway, but...
Are they going to last? Not to get all like gossipy on this show, because that's not what we do.
He seems like one of the dumbest people. How could she even want to be around him constantly? He's a dummy.
You know what, though?
His podcast drives me crazy. It's the worst podcast. Yeah. I hate it.
Yeah, it's podcasts like that which make you think, like, should we just end the podcasting?
Yeah, it should
like,
be
everybody
over.
just going to do one now, and I invented the fucking thing. I should be getting loyalties.
Or is it your fault?
Maybe it's my fault, yeah. Not his show specifically. In general, podcasting. I invented it. I mean, it's just a fact. But, yeah, man, it's just annoying. And I don't know. I didn't hate him before the Taylor Swift stuff.
I didn't love him.
I just feel like he's a different person now because of it. Don't you get that?
No, it feels like this has like been a long thing because he was doing Vax commercials. He was doing this. He was doing this. It feels like he got into like this program to be like the most likable NFL player. Like Tom Brady's gone. There's a talent vacuum where they need like a face, and it just felt like he had the right agent and the right attitude. And that's what I think this whole thing is, just agent created.
Yeah. It does feel.
It feels artificial,
created.
Right? Yeah.
Well,
or too perfect almost, like it's a Disney movie.
Well, he's up there like singing now all the time. I'm like, what's happening here? Like, is he only singing like this because Taylor Swift's in his life and everybody knows it? Like, was he singing like this at the last Super Bowl? Like when they won the Super Bowl, getting the Lombardi Trophy, like the way he was singing was so over the top, ridiculous. I'm like, what's happening here?
Well, he believes he's the character in the movie. He's the hero.
Oh no, I don't
movie.
think so. I don't think he believes that. I
think he
that.
does.
I think he because his brother said. Someone said he had to move. Once this relationship started, he had to move.
Yeah, but what is that? If you're a rich,
So he knows.
Yeah.
He knows what the relationship he's in and the publicity that comes with that. Right? She's a superstar of superstars.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce's just a good football player.
Yeah.
All right? He's not Gronk. Sorry, he's not. And by the way, while we're talking about this, Patrick Mahomes is not Tom Brady. I saw somebody on ESPN say that Patrick Mahomes is the best to ever do it. And I go, he's got 3 Super Bowls. Tom Brady has 7.
Yeah. During 2 eras, too.
7! And what did he go to? He went to 9 Super Bowls? Right?
Yeah. And what Mahomes did at the end of that game, Brady did year after year.
No, excuse me, he went to 10. I keep forgetting about. You know what happened? I erased the Philly Super Bowl. I thought was was worse than the Giants ones, in my opinion, because when you put up that many points, and it's that type of game, you win the game. And it was like, as much as we could sit here and knock Eli Manning, he's still a Manning. He still has that in his blood. Like Nick Foles. Like, I fucking hate the Philly Super Bowl. I've like erased it from my memory. And I hate the Eagles. But like, so Brady's been to 10 Super Bowls. He's lost 3. Patrick Mahomes is not Tom Brady. He's just not. And we talked about it on the last show. I teased it. I said, what should the Patriots do? Now we're seeing reports like Mac Jones is done. It was a toxic quarterback room. All the players fucking hate him. It's exactly what we thought it was for the last 2 years.
It seems
and
so
the media
obvious.
try to cover for him. It's like, nah, dude.
I still really wonder.
He's a clown.
I still really
Get him
wonder
out.
why they went to those levels.
Robert
cover him.
Kraft wanted him. He wasn't a Belichick pick. Belichick didn't want to take the quarterback in the first round. Not that one. It was a Kraft pick. He's not a Belichick guy. I've been telling people that since the draft, since he was doing that weird strut with the oversized suit at the draft. I go, this kid isn't going to be a Belichick kid. Yeah. He's not going to be a Belichick guy. Did I not say that?
Yeah.
And what happened? I mean, I'm not right all the time, but I'm 8 out of 10, man. I am 8 out of 10. And I fucking nailed that one. And I nailed it not just once, not just twice. I nailed the Mac Jones shit for 3 fucking years on you people.
It really
it's his coordinators. Oh no, he's got no receivers. Oh, it's fucking Bill Belichick. You idiots were siding with a kid from Alabama that had not won shit in his life. Oh, he won the college football national championship. Look at that team he was on. I mean, it's just he didn't get hit. Forget about it. He comes to the NFL. He's not a Belichick guy. He's soft as puppy shit. You saw that with the ankle injury. I mean, Bailey Zappi, the report, I think it was from Albert Bria, he couldn't even work in the quarterback's room. He had to go to the rookie room. He's like, this kid, Mac Jones is such a douchebag. Rookies, can I come in here and work with you guys? I can't work with him. And Bill Belichick probably saw all this and was like, fuck Mac Jones.
So that makes me think the media was so behind him if he's really a Kraft guy because they knew Belichick was already out with Kraft at that point.
Yeah, now I haven't.
So they're already picking.
Yeah, and I'm sure that gets answered in this Patriots dynasty.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow.
What is it on Apple?
Yeah, Apple Plus.
I don't have it. But
we can find it.
How much does it cost? Times are tough.
We can find it for you.
How much does it cost?
I don't know. I
should probably look that up. Until Broadway Golf Club opens, times are tough. No, but seriously, I haven't watched the Patriots dynasty stuff yet. I don't even know that I'm not ready. I'm still not ready for that stuff, Paul. Like, it's still too soon.
Well, are you surprised you haven't heard anything else about Belichick going somewhere yet? Because I thought we would have at least after the Super Bowl.
Oh, there's no way for him to go.
I know, but it's just you're not hearing anything now.
There's no way for him to go, but there is a place for Tom Brady to go. There is a way, and we mentioned in the last show, where, all right, he's going to go to Fox. Oh, he's going to go up there in the booth and call games. Like, great.
Or maybe Kraft's prodigal other son might come back home.
But Belichick is gone. Patriots need a quarterback.
He still looks great.
I mean, we're talking about a veteran stopgap quarterback. All right. We see Brady's Instagram. Looks like he's in shape. We talked about this a year ago at this time. When Tom Brady works out.
How old is he? He's 46, I think.
Looks 35.
Yeah, he's aging backwards.
When Tom Brady works out, still to this day, which he clearly does if you look at his Instagram, when he works out, do you think he's throwing the football to someone somewhere? Is Tom Brady throwing the football to someone part of his workout regimen? What do you think?
It has to. It has to almost be like at the center of his workout. I don't think he ever stops. Not in his 40s, he's not stopping like that. Now he's doing the exact same thing he did 5 years ago.
He didn't go to San Fran. The report was they wanted him, and he declined. But I also think that was so close to him unretiring for a second time that maybe he was a little embarrassed. He couldn't do it again. And there was still some stuff going on with his personal life, right? He's a year removed from that. He had to sit on the sidelines for a whole year. And now, guess what's happening? You got people on ESPN saying that Patrick Mahomes is the best to ever do it? You think Tom Brady's not hearing that? And when you think Tom Brady hears that, as someone who's still working out, who me and you agree, has to be throwing the football as part of his regimen. And then he's about to drop back with maybe the TV on over in the building next to him, volume on blast, getting that bulletin board material, and he hears someone on ESPN go, Patrick Mahomes is the best to ever do it. That ball sails. What did he just say? You think that Tom Brady doesn't hear that and go, Patrick Mahomes is the best to ever do it? Not only did I beat Patrick Mahomes when I was with the Patriots in the playoffs in the AFC Championship, I beat Patrick Mahomes in the fucking Super Bowl 3 years ago. And that was my 7th ring. Okay? My 7th ring. And was that his 11th appearance in the Super Bowl? Right?
Yeah, it would have been.
No.
10.
No, he's got 7.
Yeah.
We just went over the 10th. 10th appearance in the Super Bowl. 6 with the Patriots. 3 losses with the Patriots. 6 wins with the Patriots. 3 losses with the Patriots. 1 win with Tampa Bay. But isn't this amazing? We're losing fucking count. How many other guys do you lose count of? We can count Mahomes as we're counting him right now. He's got 3. He doesn't have 7. He's got 3. They're calling him the best to ever do it. You think Brady doesn't hear that? Robert Kraft, just call him.
And that it's
just call him. The worst he says is no.
Yeah.
The best he says, hold off on that celebration this summer. Let's run it back one more time. Bill's gone. I can do one more, maybe 2. You want to draft Bo Nix in the 2nd round? Good place for him to be is on the bench behind me for a year or 2. Just ask Jordan Love, who was on the bench behind Aaron Rodgers. Just ask Aaron Rodgers, who's on the bench behind Brett Favre.
And it's not like a Jimmy G situation because it's Brady knows he's already done in 2 years.
What do you think Jimmy G was doing? Failed the drug test.
Adderall, probably.
No, dude, he was popping Viagra, probably. Right?
I don't know. It's pretty funny how bad he was last year, though. Like, this guy's on PEDs and he's stunned.
Well, that's a PED, people say, because it increases the blood flow and it actually like improves your workouts.
Makes sense.
Improves your performance, not just in the sack, but
no, that's what it was originally for, too.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's got to be it. I thought. I mean, Adderall. I don't know. It just seems like a really stupid thing you would take as a football player. What's he doing? Studying? What is he doing?
No, but it's amphetamine. It works just as good as to make you want to run through a wall if you put it in that way too.
Yeah, I just think it had to have been like a mistake,
or it's just like he's really
a mistake that wouldn't be that stupid.
Yeah,
I feel like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be like. I don't know. Either way, I get what you're saying. This isn't like a Garoppolo situation.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Brady would never be threatened in this situation at all. And whereas before, when they brought Garoppolo in, it was like Brady believed he still had 7 years left, and he did have 7 more years left.
But Brady might. I mean, there's different factors here that make me believe it's worth a phone call if you're Robert Kraft.
Oh, it's 100% worth it. It's just to make the Patriots watchable next year, because I don't think a lot of people are sold on the Patriots next year.
Well, if they take a Jaden Daniels,
yeah, but that's not
or a Drake May.
Those are people who are going to watch the Patriots anyway, are excited about that. All the normal people are going to be excited if they hear Tom Brady might be coming back.
Yeah, I mean,
it sells the whole year tickets.
The first home game, if Brady came back,
yeah, it's nuts.
Like, shut the city down.
Yeah, for real.
We're back, baby.
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah.
Like, I just think if you're Brady,
it's got to be asked.
You have to be pissed off to hear this. Mahomes is the best of all time, greatest of all time. Like, what?
Brady could have beat Mahomes in that Super Bowl.
Brady's probably like, he couldn't beat me.
Yeah, right now. Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Tom, we should come back and try to prove it.
You're always my favorite son,
That's my
Tom.
Robert Kraft impersonation. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
What? Like, it's when Brady's like, oh, I can't do the full season. What do you mean?
Yeah, you don't have to. Don't do the full season. Come back in
week. Yeah, you could.
We can figure this out.
You hurt the first 4 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Deflate a couple of footballs.
Yeah,
you get suspended 4 weeks.
Exactly. Take Viagra.
Yeah, pump some Viagra. You fail the test. And your performance will be enhanced in all aspects of life.
Yeah.
I just hate. If I hate hearing, like, that night after the Super Bowl, I'm sitting there watching the postgame, and I'm hearing people on ESPN, analysts, go, oh, he's the best to ever do it. And I was so fucking mad, Paul.
So
silly.
silly.
Do you know how mad that made me?
It's so silly.
I was so mad. And like, it's like they forget. Like, did you forget? Did you just fucking forget that we had 20 years of dominance?
They definitely do. They immediately forget because it doesn't serve them anymore.
You forgot about Tom Brady? You're willing to call Patrick Mahomes the greatest of all time after 3 Super Bowls? And you could say, like, oh, but he's doing it at a younger age than Brady.
Not really.
Brady won his first fucking year out of the gate.
Yeah.
Then he won again.
Yeah.
Then he went. No, wait. He won. They didn't make the playoffs, and then they won 2 straight.
Yeah.
He won 3 in his first 4. Yeah. What are you fucking talking about? I even heard Brewski knocking Brady on ESPN being like, well, Tom was a complimentary piece his first couple of years. It's like, okay.
He was Brock Purdy. He was a system quarterback.
We do this whole game manager thing with quarterbacks. It's like, guys, like, what is it? Is he the greatest of all time, or was he a complimentary piece for the first half of his career and then became the greatest? Shut the fuck up. He was the greatest of all time.
Yeah. And still is.
Like, there's some of this stuff with Brady and the Patriots over the history of the last 20, 25 years, I am just like, it's irrational. And if I'm getting this pissed off about it, Paul,
how could he not?
How could a competitor like Tom Brady, who's still in great shape, and me and you agree is still throwing the football, not be pissed off at this 20 times more than me?
Yeah.
Well, there's something you can do about it, and there's a team that could use you, and you might know, where that team plays.
It also lets him kind of save face of unretiring again. If you're coming back to the Patriots, you're not going to San Francisco. You're coming back home.
Well, if the whole thing was a rift with Belichick and Belichick's gone, you went to Tampa Bay and you proved you can win without Belichick. But did you prove you could win with the Patriots without Belichick? Did you really answer the question? Yeah. Like, you answered the question kind of. Who was it in New England, Brady or Belichick? It was both, okay?
It's obviously both.
But if we're out to prove points, which I think these guys have egos, it's just human nature.
It's fun to rub someone's face in it, too.
Like, part of Belichick's gone. Mayo is still here. Mayo. He's going to have that defense rock solid, You can come back and kind of answer the question if you win. I mean,
it really helped Mayo out. Really help him out.
Let's just entertain, and I know people are going to think I'm fucking, like, I've lost it.
You pushed it too far.
But I don't even care. I don't care.
You gotta dream big sometimes.
We're dreaming, baby. We're dreaming. We're manifesting. We are fucking living on this Saturday night. This is, but you're getting a glimpse into my life right now. Just sitting here, thinking about things in a manifestive way. Is that the word? Not manifesting right now. Tom Brady. Let's just say there was news next week. Adam Schefter's like, reports say that Robert Kraft has been in contact with Tom Brady about a potential return to the Patriots in 2024. Where would the odds go of the Patriots winning the Super Bowl next year? Where would they go?
Way up. Almost at the top. Almost.
Because you know what would happen. People would start to connect the dots. Be like, oh, Patriots at number 3. Marvin Harrison Jr.? Tom Brady? Like, could be a match made in heaven. Now you got a different front office. You got more moves being made. Maybe you're making some trades to bring some pieces in. And I don't like, you know what? I shouldn't go there because I actually think Belichick made a lot better moves as a GM than people are willing to give him credit for when it comes to some big name players. Stephon Gilmore is one of them.
It's also hard to know which ones he picked and which one he was forced to pick too. We know that.
We go down that rabbit hole, and I think Belichick actually comes out on top way more than people want to give him credit for. But anyways, to entertain this conversation, let's say then the next report is, Tom Brady is considering a return to the Patriots after communicating with Robert Kraft. And then it's Tom Brady signs a 1-year deal with the Patriots.
With an option for the second.
Patriots draft Marvin Harrison. They draft Bo Nix in the second round. And right there, you would see the Patriots go from bottom of the barrel in the odds to, I think,
right up
top 8. Top 8.
And I'd also feel
the top quarter of the league in the odds to win the Super Bowl.
I'd also feel way better about them going forward over the next 5 years too, because now it seems like they have a real plan.
Well, it sounds ridiculous because you say Brady's going to come back after a year off, and he's another year older, and he doesn't really have it anymore. His last year well, I mean,
who knows?
They still make the playoffs, and they lost to the Rams, right? Isn't that how it ended for him? And didn't the Rams win the Super Bowl that year?
Yeah, that's a great point too.
And we're not that far removed from that. If Brady's been working out, which he looks like he has, if he's been throwing the football, which he probably is, and he's coming back to a familiar place, I don't think it's that crazy to think that, all right, maybe they wouldn't be a 14-2 automatic division winner that we used to seeing.
No, but they're back to being automatic.
But you're back to
team.
being automatic play. You're getting into the playoffs.
Yeah,
Brady's getting you to the playoffs, and at that point, it's like
anything.
Keep Zeke.
Yeah.
You think Zeke wouldn't want? You might get Devin McCourty to come out of retirement.
No, but you'll get more. You'll get people coming out of the woodwork though if Brady's here.
Devin McCourty said. Remember last year at the beginning of the year?
Did he say it?
They were. Was it last? It was after he retired. Yeah, it was last offseason. And there was a quote from him where he said, "Oh man, if Tom Brady came back, then I would come out of retirement for that." Basically saying I'm not sticking around to play with Mac Jones. That's essentially what he said.
Yeah.
That's why he retired. He's like, we're not going to win with Mac. Even someone like Matthew Slater. If Brady was coming back, would Slater reconsider retirement? That's a retirement reconsideration move.
Oh, definitely is.
Tom Brady returning to the Patriots. And so all of the good things that could come from that, maybe it doesn't result in a Super Bowl. Maybe it doesn't even result in a division title or an AFC championship appearance. But it could result in something very positive for the team this year and make it exciting. It could result in something very positive for a quarterback like Bo Nix that you could draft in the second round, having to sit behind Brady. And it's overall.
It's how you would want them.
I don't see how anyone loses with that.
Yeah, exactly. It's how you would have wanted Brady's time to end here. A real plan of 2-year plan. We got this other guy coming behind you.
Dun, 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 dun,
I hope.
dun, dun. I don't know. I mean, it's probably, I would put my money on it not happening, but
It's got to be.
a man can dream.
It's got to be asked too.
We got to talk about it. If no one else is going to talk about it, I fucking will. Tom Brady to the Patriots next year. Let's run it back. One more, Tom. Let's do this. Run it back. You could be like The Rock coming back, stepping in to finish the story. Come on. All right. What else? Did we miss anything before we got to wrap it up? No, right? We're good.
I think that's it.
I think we had to come back and do a show after the Vince McMahon show, kind of, you know, on YouTube. We got in that algorithm.
Yeah, finally.
You know, we'll see if we stay there. YouTube's a tough place. YouTube's a very tough place. We did a little political like things. We didn't mention names, so the captions can't pick that up and run with that and kind of shadow ban us. We're not gonna let that happen. But the Taylor Swift album over my shoulder. We're gonna have to figure something out. I don't know.
You gotta shake it off.
No, I know. We we got to at least like tell people that somewhere in the description that it is Paul Price's Taylor Swift album. No, this is not.
Hey,
This is not my plan.
that album did 7 minutes on this show episode.
7 too many. All right, Paul Price, great job per usual. Outside of the Taylor Swift album behind me. I don't know. We'll talk to you maybe in a couple weeks, maybe in a month, maybe what WrestleMania is in like 6 or 7 weeks. Maybe we'll do something right before then. We'll do WrestleMania preview. There is that pay-per-view in Australia in a couple weeks, I think.
I think next
Is it
Saturday.
next week?
Yep.
Maybe we'll come back and react to that. Maybe they do something crazy. But make sure you hit that subscribe button. Turn notifications on. Follow me on Instagram at Danny Picard. I'm out. See ya.